published. Zara, what more can you tell us?
Yes, good afternoon, Aisling. So this is a copy of the report I have in my hand here, and I suppose, look, just to kind of bring you through a summary from Professor Gabriel Scally. He's saying that much progress has been made, and he says that all of those involved should be congratulated on what has been achieved, but he says that what is apparent from the implementation review, this is the implementation of those original 50 recommendations that he made 4 years ago, is that areas do remain for improvement. He said there are areas where things have lagged behind what would have been reasonably expected, that he would have expected a certain amount of progress. Now, of course, he recognises that the COVID-19 pandemic did have an impact on all of this, but he says there still should be certain things that have been put in place. He says the necessity of future oversight and leadership of the cervical screening programme should not be neglected. He says there are broader issues raised and highlighted by the cervical check failures, such as the necessity of a duty of candour on health professionals. So this is obviously what we would describe as mandatory open disclosure, where patients are told when something has happened that shouldn't have happened. He's also saying that there is an over-reliance on the judicial system as a means of solving problems arising in clinical care, and he says that these are matters of great importance and will require a firm commitment to reform and modernise. Let's just take a listen to what he had to say. The press conference is ongoing, but this is what he said in the last couple of moments.
I never expected all of my recommendations to be easy to implement or to be quick to implement. The whole area of open disclosure, which of course was at the very centre of the cervical screening problem, where the poorly designed audit resulted in some women not being disclosed as they should have been, the results of that audit for their own slides and their own health. And in my recommendation, I talked about the necessity of a duty of candour on individuals within the health system to tell the truth and be honest, and also for the organisations, and that there should be a duty on both those organisations.
Well, Aisling, people will remember that the Scally report was first prompted by the work of Vicky Phelan, who obviously decided when she stood on the steps of the High Court that she would not sign a non-disclosure agreement, that she wanted this information to be in the public domain. And he notes that in this report today, he says that what was revealed in the aftermath of Vicky Phelan's court case was that Ireland had a cervical screening programme that was deeply flawed. To touch on only 3 points, the cervical cytology slides of women had been sent to far distant laboratories. And that's something he's talking about today, because we know that efforts are ongoing, and the Taoiseach gave an update on that last week to bring cytology home to Ireland. There is a new lab at the site at the Coombe Hospital which has been built, and that's a big factor in all of this. I think the duty of candour is the real thing that's coming up here today, though, Aisling. Gabriel Scally is not holding back in saying that he's quite disappointed, actually, that has not been dealt with in the last 4 years. He actually says that the wording of it in terms of the Irish Medical Council is something that was of concern to him, in terms of whether a patient would be told when something had gone wrong. He said the word should have been used, and he said actually the word should be would or must. So he said even the language, a cultural change, is something that is still needed at this time.
Okay, Zara, thank you very much for that.